If you have not watched Companion, or any trailer leading to the movie directed by Drew Hancock and produced by the creator of the highly regarded horror movie Barbarian from 2022, Zach Cregger, I would suggest you stop right now and come back after you have caught the movie. I promise you, you will have a whale of a time going in with a clean slate. Okay, now let me begin telling a saccharine love story between our female lead, Iris, played by the once again prominent Sophie Thatcher, and the male lead, Josh, played by Jack Quaid, encountering at the most inopportune moment that blossomed into a gem of a relationship. In the midst of this blissful communion, Josh brought Iris for a weekend get-together with his friends in a secluded bungalow in the woods belonging to a sketchy Russian oligarch who was dating one of Josh's friends. While everything was innocuous, aside from Iris' wide-eyed curiosity towards the people she met for the first time and their relationships, I was wondering if the gang would either be weeded out one by a masked assailant from the woods, or indulge in some absurd games that put their lives at risk. There was a death indeed, and a rather predictable one. From that point onwards, the twists and turns made it a ride I was so enthralled to embark upon. From that eye-catching poster, the main takeaway was that Iris went pupilless. There were a few options I would postulate what had happened to Iris. She could have gone blind due to some unadulterated attack. She could be possessed by a demon. She could have wiped out for her optical receptors in a sleep mode as she is an android or something. The title Companion came from the concept of a companion robot from a fictitious version of Tesla known as Anthetix, and Iris, a name bestowed to her from Josh because Goo Goo Dolls' classic tune was playing on the background when Iris was delivered, while doubling up immaculately with the focus on the eyes of the character. From the start, Josh looked like a socially awkward guy and needed to show off his aesthetically pleasing companion robot to his friends. Little did we know, the robot is a key factor to his devious scheme. It was a malevolent plant, yet in some sense, it also seems like a brilliant idea. Iris was a run-of-the-mill robot that was mass-produced by Empathics, and along the way, she was trying to gain a bit of humanity, and it became a story of a robot fighting back against the greed and evil of human beings who created, possessed, and manipulated her. Once again, this was like a classic episode from Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror TV series, in which an ordinary world where the living characters strive with the aid of technology, which might be fictitious, yet as viewers, we felt like it was something that would be at the precipice of realization. Things will often turn afoul when the evil nature of human beings mistreat said technology that will put themselves in the tight spot. Writer-director Drew Hancock was rooted to the technology we had now with mobile applications and self-drive car, and intricately created the functionality of a companion robot from face recognition initialization to toggle with the settings like intelligence level to having a kill switch or go back into factory setting. It was nothing foreign to viewers for sure. Josh would adopt an unscrupulous intervention for his plan, which Hancock superbly turned the table on him, putting him on the knife's edge. This one location mind game worked nicely as characters started second-guessing each other, and the subsequent cat and mouse chase as well as the tactical chess-like duels worked in this environment when matters went beyond the point of no return. Hancock added a lot of levity that balanced between cheesiness and legitimate hilarity, such as the memory sequence Josh's friend Eli had installed within his own robot. When there was a switch in ownership, the memory stayed intact, but there was a swap in the faces. Some people might find this sequence jarring. I felt it was no harm and added some depth to these robots. While in recent movies like Megan and Subservience, the artificial intelligence took control and went on a killing spree, the protagonist this time round was the AI, yet as audience, we were so conditioned to anticipate Iris flipping at any second. Hancock really worked out the science behind the whole concept, like curbing the probability of the AI going rogue. Sophie Thatcher, who we last acquainted in last year's Heretic, was wholesome playing that prim and proper girlfriend, trying to adjust to the uncomfortable environment she was put in. She was then put through a multitude of physical and psychological torment from the person she trusted the most, Thatcher was starting to display her greed and badassdom, which we had seen previously in Heretic as well. As Iris, Thatcher gave a performance that went in seamlessly from being infatuated with someone, to fearing for her life, to decimated by betrayal, to ultimately bracing herself with mental strength to come out on top. Jack Quaid also had a spectacular performance. As Josh, his performance was too similar to his character Huey in the Amazon series The Boys. That nervy demeanor always put him as the beta character even among his friends, even though he was the one that plotted and schemed. However, when he realized his plan was starting to be foiled, he started channeling his inner Walter White, and we saw him slowly breaking back to a really devious individual who would not leave no stones unturned to accomplish what he set out to do. It was thrilling to see the duel between Josh and Iris at the end, and this time Quaid's character held the overall enjoyment of the movie, unlike his turn in Scream 5. It was a nice surprise to see Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows series from Hulu. I have always enjoyed Harvey Guillen's straight man turned manic in that comedy series about a group of vampires living in the modern world, and I felt as Eli, Gillen sort of played the same characters, just a bit more flamboyant. But Eli was a nice supporting character in the grand scheme of things. Playing Eli's boyfriend was Lucas Gage as Patrick. We last saw Gage as the drug peddler who brought the Smile curse to Sky Riley in Smile 2. As Patrick, he switched between mellow and loving to a cold-blooded killer with a lot of reference to T-1000 from Terminator 2. Even the name might be a homage to Robert Patrick. In 2022, I watched Mark Mallott's The Menu, unsullied and fresh, and came out of it having a great time. I think Companion is my 2024 version of The Menu, a movie in which, by looking at the poster with recognizable faces, you suppose it will zig one way but it zagged a whole different way. Kudos to Hancock and his team. This is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I hope to have more nice surprises in upcoming horror features. Well, even just one every quarter will be sufficient, so please subscribe to this channel to see if I will unearth some gems along the way. The review prior to this was the retro review of Joe Dante's The Howling from 1981. Please excuse me as I will try to call empathics if I could use this promotional code for the elusive model that came in the form of Alexandra Daddario.